Sunday night football was an absolute roller coaster affair. If anybody had said that Jared Goff would more than double his season's INTs and still win the game, would you have believed it? If any believed them?
I would have laughed.
No. Right? You would have said they're absolutely crazy, but this was an utterly crazy Sunday night football game. Jared Goff, 5 interceptions. We're going to talk about his performance. We're going to talk about the performance of both run defenses, and then we're going to talk about the comeback itself. So first of all, Jared Goff's 5 INTs. How many of them were his fault in this game? Peter, I think you think 3, and I think definitely 2.
I think 3.
So, all right, let's break them down. Interception number 1, tipped screen pass. That's not his fault.
Yep,
that happens, right? That happens.
Yep.
Second interception, Penei Sewell gets beat, and it's effectively like a fumble interception kind of thing because it never hit the ground when he's trying to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's not his fault. That happens, right? Strip sacks happen. It just happened to kind of be an interception at the same time. The third one is a Hail Mary. I don't care. Interceptions happen on Hail Marys. That doesn't really matter, right?
You've got to kind of throw it up there, yep.
So actually, what we're really saying is the first 3, the third one, yeah, it's his fault, but you're liable to get intercepted, correct? On a Hail Mary.
Yeah, but it's still your fault because you could have chosen not to throw it.
No, because otherwise, if you don't throw the Hail Mary, then people are saying you don't want to win. Come on. You can't
throw. Okay, you can throw Hail Marys. It won't get intercepted or just get batted down. That happens too.
Yeah, but
that's just luck.
That's
just luck.
On like your player.
At the end of the day,
I know you're a defensive guy, so you're gonna have your biases against the offensive.
Give my guys credit because if they're picking, they're picking.
Yeah, I'm giving them the credit. I'm giving the defense the credit. Whereas I'm not saying not taking the credit away.
The Laporta one. It's still Goff's fault. I don't know why you're trying to blame.
It's a timing route. For it. So the fourth one is a timing route.
The pass was off.
It was on time. He was not there. You could see he was like scrambling.
I'm just watching it now.
I have watched it in slow-mo. I've watched it in full speed. He did not get to his point.
I'm watching it now. The pass was off. I said, like, when he wasn't even scrambling. I know the pressure was coming. No.
I'm not talking about the quarterback scrambling. I'm talking about the tight end did not get to the spot that he needed to get to on time. With a timing route, if you are not at that spot at the right time, it is liable to be intercepted, especially over the middle.
See, the way you break
I think it's more.
I think you actually only want to Goff right now. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of the two. I kind of think the route Laporta run wasn't. I mean, it was the right route, but he needed to sort of get.
He needed to get a better cut. He didn't. He didn't get a good break. He didn't look like he came out of his break quickly at all.
Yeah, I think he was meant to turn it more vertical towards the tail end. He didn't. He did that late. And the thing is, Jared, with routes like that, you throw to a spot on the field, and you expect your guy to just get there. So you're kind of throwing him open. Obviously, it wasn't really underthrown. I think it was where it
was just exactly where he intended to throw it. It just his guy wasn't there, right?
Yeah, so I kind of think that's more on the route.
At the end of the day, the stats will say you threw 5 INTs. It doesn't care how
Correct.
the INTs happen. They just say you threw 5.
I know, but we're not talking about pure statistics. We're talking about what's behind the statistics.
Okay.
Now,
right.
the fifth interception, that was a bad throw. That did not need to go to the numbers. That needed to go to the outside the numbers, to the red line. That needed to go much closer to the because I think they were in either in cover 2 or I think they were in quarters, right? And they just threw it. They were in quarters coverage and they just threw it into the zone where the guy was like, "All right, thanks.
I mean,
He
you could
didn't
watch
need
that
to
happen
throw
in
it because
slow
he had Jameer
motion.
Gibbs.
I think as
He
soon
could
as
have
the
just
ball
taken
was
the check down.
halfway,
Yeah, no, I said he threw
ball-
it into the wrong place, and that was just a bad throw, a bad
yeah,
shot
as soon as
play.
the ball was halfway in the air, I think even Goff knew, yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Now,
yeah.
if we look at... So, he wasn't the only quarterback in this game to throw interceptions. CJ Stroud threw a couple himself.
Yeah, he threw two.
And that second one, where the guy was wide open and he just took a little bit too long, and then he kind of just like floated it. And hey, the DB made an incredible play, right? That DB running all the way to make that. But do you think CJ helped that by not throwing it harder?
I'm not sure.
Because it seemed like he touched past it, but touched past it over a distance, which means it gives the defender the opportunity to come back to it. That's what I think, but I might be nitpicking here. It's a great piece of defensive play.
Is this his? This is his.
The second INT. The first INT was a piece of Dan Campbell blood magic where he's on the sideline talking and he says, I think we need to get a turnover. First play, they get a turnover.
Yeah. I think he just underthrew that ball. He left too much.
He put too much air on it, I think. It wasn't underthrown. I think he put just too much air on it. He got to where it needed to, but
it kind of went up and over, and then it just gave the DB enough time to sort of get underneath it and then just pinch the ball. I mean, he's going to wish he had that throw back, because I think if he just puts a little bit more heat on it, then yeah, it's a touchdown right there. So, and that would most likely be the game as well. Because let's just say, like, this just goes to prove, like, the Lions are kind of like a juggernaut team. I can really see them going all the way, despite not having despite not being the team of destiny, of fate. They are just such a juggernaut. If you can throw 5 interceptions and still win, like by a score as well, that's kind of nuts, man.
The fact of the matter, they were down 16 at the half, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't let the Texans score another point.
Yeah.
And if you look at Joe Mixon in this game, he had 46 yards rushing off 25 attempts.
That means they were trying to run it. They literally could not get anything done.
Yeah, they're locked down. I mean, one of the things that you see
both sides locked down, right? Because you look at David Montgomery, 12 for 32.
Yeah, but you look at trends of how teams are built, and I think this Lions team under Dan Campbell is a football team. Mm-hmm. When I say they're a football team, as in like they win in multiple ways, and that's like, for me, in terms of football, that's those type of teams become my favorite teams in the league, because they're not predicated on a particular type of offense. Like San Francisco, Sean McVay, it's a West Coast offense. The Lions offense is a multitude of ways. If you won't let us throw the ball, we're gonna buy your kneecaps and run down your throat.
Well,
if you won't let us run down your throat, we're gonna throw the football. Just find a way to win the game is what they do, and their team, they're built to really compete and be good for a long time. I don't think this is a team. I think the Lions are reaching their peak here.
It's going to be very interesting, though. It's going to be very interesting.
Young team as well,
because everyone's going to be after Ben Johnson, right?
Yep.
Now that's one of the keys we'll see. If he's definitely getting a head coaching job, and he's going to the Bears, I'm calling.
The thing is, like, he can pick.
Could he end up somewhere else from the Bears?
No, but that's the team he wanted originally. That's why he didn't take any job.
Ben Johnson wanted a good situation, and he wanted a QB.
The only thing I would say,
the best job, and the best job never became available.
The only thing I would say is culture, right?
Mm.
Going into a place where the culture is poor and trying to turn it around, it's whether you're going to get the time to turn it around or not. Yeah. Now, we've seen that the Detroit Lions have a good culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, They have a good culture. When they had Matthew Stafford and Megatron, I don't know what the culture was like back then, but they had
It was
players.
inconsistent. They had
It was
players
inconsistent, correct?
it was
Whereas,
a very inconsistent culture.
whereas with the Bears, they have had a consistent approach in failing quarterbacks over the years. Well,
They're doing it now.
right? And with the Lions, we're going to see whether they're going to be able to. Well, with Dan Campbell there, that culture's still going to stay. Even like whoever's going to be like, let's say Ben Johnson disappears to another team next year, the culture's still going to remain. It'll just be the next coach to kind of carry on with
the same offense, the same kind of verbiage.
It'll be slightly different, ever so slightly. It'll be an evolution, not revolution, right?
Yeah.
Now, what does it say about the Texans, though? The fact that they were able to throw this game away.
I find it disappointing because I think we're seeing a little bit of inconsistencies with the Texans. They're still a good team. They're still locked on to win their division. But I think
that's because the other three teams are absolutely.
Well, they're the best team in the division. I'll say that for now. I'll give them that. But the thing is, I think it was a disappointing game because this is a game with 5 turnovers that they should have found a way to win. And CJ Stroud is still playing well in his sophomore year, but he hasn't been as as he was as a rookie. But he's still a young quarterback. He's still developing. They let one get away from them, and that happens when you play a team like the Lions that consistently do not give up. Because the Lions had faith and believe that no matter what the situation is, we are gonna keep playing hard and find our way back into. And it's a lesson that the Texans can learn as well, which is our culture is good, but we have to develop that belief that no matter what happens, we're gonna find a way to win the game. And I think that's what the Lions. It was a battle of kind of like our will is
and you could see the panic setting in, right? You could see the panic, and it highlighted one of the most hilarious plays I've ever seen, with the O lineman strip sacking his own quarterback, which I don't understand why. I think he wanted to pull the ball away and start running with it, but because he thought he was going to get strip sacked anyway. But you can see just the alarm bells and everything. It wasn't cohesion in that second half. But what we did see a cohesive unit at the end was the Detroit Lions kicking team. Hey, 2 50-plus field goals, 53 and a 58-yarder for a rookie. Unbelievable. Absolutely brilliant. And they managed to close this game out. And well, if you like what you think about that Lions and Texans games, please drop a like below and put a subscribe as well.